Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about SUHR RIOT MINI distortion pedal. Alright, that was a song I wrote specifically for this video, inspired by the SUHR RIOT pedal. So, as you heard in the beginning, I had just a clean sound, and it's my Marshall JCM800 from 1985, aka the little brother. So, I've been plugging into the low input. You know, the amp is, really cool because you can get nice clean tones out of it. With a little bit of chorus, and then when we add the riot, it's just BD here because usually I have my blues driver there, but the BD is the riot. As you can hear, it's this really filthy, in a good way, kind of old school vibe pedal. So it's not your modern, nice, tight, smooth overdrive. It's like, well, kind of like 800. I mean, I plugged it into a clean channel of 800, but I'll show you how this sounds into a different amp. So there's a few simple controls. The tone, which makes the tone brighter. Again, the sweet spot for me where it opens with this amp. And then the voicing switch is there's kind of like two different clipping modes. The one I have now has a little bit more top end, and the other is a little bit velvety, softer, smoother. There's not a big difference, but kind of the top end is a little bit smoother on the on the other position. And then the level is just how hard you push, the signal into the amp. The more you push, the more the preamp tubes in the amp, reacts, and then a distortion, which adds distortion. So this isn't an overdrive in a way that, overdrives, you kind of need to have already distorted sound in the amp, and then with an overdrive you just push the preamp tubes, over the top so that they distort more. But as you can hear with this one, it's just a clean amp, and then the distortion, the overdrive is actually generated here. But obviously, let me show you if I disengage the distortion and just, use the level to push the preamp tube. Obviously, because the signal is now so hot, they will start to break up. And then the more distortion you dial in, the more distortion you get. So when it's maxed, it's almost kind of like a fuzz. I had it up there around, 9:30 o'clock. It's usually pretty much always when I dial in an overdrive or distortion, I try to use as little as I dare, because the sound is just then a lot tighter and more dynamic, so it actually matters what I'm doing here. Instead, if it would be, fuzzed out, it's just like, yeah, whatever you do, it's gonna be. So more dynamics, more the way I play, I feel the amp reacts, and the pedal a lot better, the less distortion you have. Obviously, it's a bit harder to play, but practice, practice, and practice. Cool. It's really, many manufacturers say that, yeah, it's an amp-like pedal. And when I got this, thanks again, Music's, local music store here in Switzerland, thanks for borrowing me this. I was a little bit suspicious, but this actually, it really feels like I would play with a real tube amp, kind of 800 Plexi like vibe. So I was positively surprised, because I've never tried this pedal before. And then now it's a little bit, if we want to make it tighter, kind of more metallic, metal tone, you can boost it with overdrive, like SD1, because it is really an amp light. Check it out. So it becomes really tight and yeah, the signal chain and gear, it's my old Tokai Les Paul Custom. I don't know the model. It's made in Japan with EMG 57 and 66 pickups. Then into pedal board, then into KHE amp switcher, and into these amps, back to KHE. Then it goes to SUHRA's React IR, reactive load / cab attenuator, and I'm only using the cab attenuator portion of it, and from there, from the cab attenuator, the signal goes to Marshall 9060BX with greenbacks, and I have mic'd one of them with just a single SM57, and that's it. Alright, so like with all pedals, it really depends your gear and the amp that you put them into. So check out what happens, because now I switched into Boogie Mark V's clean channel. Oops. Which is really, or I've said it so that it's really glassy. That's kind of my, if I want a glassy, really clean, crystal clean tone, then the Mark V's clean channel is the fat mode and bold switch on, no post EQ. nice crystal clean tone. Then when I put the Riot on for this, so all the pedals are in front of the amps. Completely different sound than with the 800. Now the 800. So as you hear, it really depends the amp and how you set it. So let's try to make the sound a little bit better with the Boogie, the settings I have there, because it's really good clean sound. But the distorted sound was quite horrible. Lot better. So what I did, I switched the voice switch to the not so bright position, backed up the tone and backed the level, because the amp was really, I could feel that the tubes were begging for mercy, and dialed a little bit of more distortion, and now it's... So it really depends your amp, your clean sound or whatever sound it is, how you should dial the SUHR. Okay, let's switch back to the 800 and listen how it sounds now with the Boogie settings. Really dark and horrible. Let's dial it back again so that it sounds good with the Marshall. Like that. Okay, as I told you, it feels really like an amp-like pedal. So let's compare it to, you know, how distorted 800 sounds. This is the bad boy from 1984, and I boosted that with, surprising, this Bass SD1. Sounds like this. And to the clean 800 and Riot. Quite close. Then let's compare it to Plexi 1987X 50-watt Plexi. No overdrive, no boost. Everything is at 4 o'clock around, except between 3 and 4 o'clock. The mix is at 2 o'clock or something. Plexi is a little bit darker, more mid-focused, more vintage. 800. I don't know how well this translates to you. I mean, I'm recording. I can't hear what's being recorded, but it's on the sweet spot. Here it sounds. The 800, you know, low input, clean tone. With the SUHR, it sounds a little bit like a mix of 800 boosted with SD1 and Plexi without anything. So really nice tone. Kind of this vintage, filthy vibe, which I really like. I mean, I play metal, mostly metal, hard rock. I do other stuff too, but I still prefer these old school amps. They just have more soul and vibe to me. And the Riot captures that vibe really good. Conclusion: if you have a clean amp, a small practice amp or whatever, and maybe you're not happy with the overdriven or distorted tone with it, but you like the clean tone a lot, adding the SUHR Riot, you can kind of turn your whatever amp a lot like 800 or Plexi like. It sounds really like with a pedal on. I don't know how they done it, but it feels and sounds to me like a cranked old 2 amp sounds when there's power amp distortion. So I think that's what makes this pedal kind of like filthy. So it's an analog. There's no tubes and stuff, but it sounds and feels like at least when I play with cranked 800 and Plexi. So you get that preamp distortion, but also that power amp distortion. And like you heard, it also behaves kind of like a tube amp. When I boost that with a SD1, it reacts the same way than 800. It just becomes tighter, adds a little bit sustain and compression, and depending how much drive you add, you can add insane amounts. And this has a definitely more drive on tap than 800 or Plexi has. So really cool, great pedal, I must say. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was interesting and informative. Until next time, all the best. Take care. Bye.